apparently off camera, but if they all stood up in front of the dinosaur and waved in 7 to 10 seconds, the live home studio audience may see a indication of some. Oh, there's TJ. There's Dave with the big block and a relay in the wings. It's so much easier to announce over what you've already seen in the past and can predict is going to happen in what only appears to be real time. So I take it those were all folks standing up, volunteering, and making themselves known as also giving presentations. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 talks for this evening. Possibly 8. I'm going to leave it to the dinosaur. Let's see what the dinosaur has to say about this.
One question I have is, will the talks be recorded or streamed?
Is anyone recording or streaming?
Question echoed by relay. That's not going to be confusing. Apologies to the transcriptionists. A echo via relay of is, can, there, will be, and would you record? And yes, the bunker is monitoring and recording locally. So presumably some form of this is being archived for posterity.
Are we going to stream to Noisebridge, YouTube, or Twitch?
Not at this time, but if folks want their content to be made available afterwards, they could make a copy and post it wherever they want. But I think it's for in-house telepresence live studio audience only this evening. And do we have any volunteer timekeepers? All right, we have a couple of volunteer timekeepers. Do we have any volunteer presenters? This many minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 many minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who is playing background DJ here? Because it is pretty epically being correlated. Did I somehow magically DJ myself and the auto game feature am I unconsciously DJing right now? Holy shit, I am. And there's more. Okay, so that was one.
Have you ever done this before? Do you want me to show you?
And the other DJ.
Is it okay if I watch? Do you want to be on time? Do I get
just ahead? I'm feeling like this is a bit.
Holy moly. Make it stop! Some FM has hacked the Noisebridge psyche.
So we should be seeing like blue dots bouncing somewhere where the sound is emanating from. I don't want to talk. Okay, I'm going to turn the mic off and I'm going to stop talking. Oh! That's just the playlist. That doesn't actually sound. Maybe it's coming inside the Hackett Skeletor in. Oh shit, I reloaded.
Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl.
Music playing upstairs is coming from inside the Jitsi.
Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl.
Am I?
Noisebridge, where the audience is the show. What's up?
Very Noisebridge.
Well, whatever you did, fixed it.
Yeah.
Hey.
You can keep it. That was DJ Devil supplying us with the auto gain background beats. Bolivian. Welcome back, Relay.
We may have had a few.
Now telepresent.
We'll just recompile the kernel and
So,
we'll figure out the
fellow Jitser is coming from inside the garage. Definitely not Relay, whose direction I'm looking in. Blah, blah, blah. So stage is open for anybody to present for 5 minutes-ish. We do have a physical virtual podium, and you could stand at the dinosaur, or the view with the dinosaur and the picture-in-picture grid is what's most likely actually being recorded for posterities. So you can telepresently present while sitting here, joining the Jitsi on your own device, while talking in front of this device, while leaning over the dinosaur's shoulder, or on the screen. So without a wiki page in front of me to refer to, I'm entirely not sure who I should volunteer to the stage for the next 5 minutes.
I have a comment. I am going to record my own presentation personally, and I can also record other people's presentations if they so choose. But I will not be recording the event. Only presentations that people asked to have recorded.
Okay, thank you for the excellent clarity. And yeah, it's generally best practice, even for screenshots or whatever, to make sure everyone has the opportunity to partake or not and be informed either which way. So I'll give everyone a quick virtual tour of our box hovering amongst us. If you notice the frying pan out back, that is now the vegetarian kimchi pot sticker preparation station. We've got Skeletor in red looking over our bench supply in the electronics room. A view down the hackatorium tables with some lights on in the back, leading the way to the restroom, which as of a couple of days ago had handrails installed per California guidance code for children.
Yeah, that's the important part.
We had total compliance as a child care facility, potentially, with the bathroom occupancy of 1. JD was here earlier and graced us with relocated safety handrail bars that are now at the adult specification dimensions. So a well-equipped, well-cleaned, and spacious bathroom awaits all in the back behind the curtain on the ground floor. So blah, blah, blah. I will pick at random or let them fight it amongst them to a volunteer in our live students participatory office.
Hacker number 0, come on down. A relay readies a masked noise face and approaches Relay. What would you like to talk about this evening, Relay?
I created something kind of minimal, but sure. I I made something kind of silly. It does a thing. It doesn't do it as well as I'd like, but it does a thing.
Would you like to talk into this facial cam or the one you're dragging around, or have something to screen share?
It's easier for me to present if I just show you what I have.
Muting. Stand by for audio coordinated transition. 3, 2, 1, and then some.
I'm on here. Can you hear me?
They can hear you.
All right, and I muted it, so let me.
Yeah, so I'm muted, so they can only hear it through you now.
All right, and let's see. I don't hear anyone else, but whatever.
Yeah, that's because it would echo.
All right, cool. So it's just me. It's just me doing a presentation. Let me try it.
Yeah, I just.
Where's the share screen thing?
At the bottom.
More actions. Meet everyone. Share screen, there it is. And then window or screen, I choose list maker. All right, I will allow it. Cool. So this is like a silly little thing that I can use to track who is in the building. So if I want to say anyone is coming, I don't know. People were just saying, hey, I don't know. We were trying to track like who is in the building at one time or not. I just thought it'd be easier to just type in someone's name. If they're on the list, it will automatically remove it. If they are on the list, it will remove it. If they're not on the list, it will add it. That's kind of how it works. So let's say Steve came, or Fine Line came by. I can type in Fine Line, and then he's on the list. If I type in Fine, if he decides to go Line, it will remove him from that list. So yeah, that's kind of a simple little Python script I wrote for tracking things on Jitsi. And it also gives you the number of how many people are at Noisebridge at any given time. Let's see, my sound. Anyone have any questions?
So how do we use it?
Show us the code.
Sure. All right. So I can type. I also had a function that says exit, and then I could go. Then I could do cat, and then. And there it is. Simple enough.
Neat.
So constantly just, yeah, it's a very simple little script I wrote. Didn't know how to like make it work very well, but hey, it does what it's supposed to do.
So
I got a question. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
did you say
What's the question?
did you say it's on Jitsi?
Hold on.
Can you
What was
hear me?
it?
all right?
What was your question?
Did you say it's on Jitsi?
Yeah, it's on Jitsi.
How do I use it on Jitsi? I don't get it.
Oh no, you can't use it on Jitsi. It's just a basic Python script.
Oh, can you host it somewhere so we can all use it all the time?
Yeah, I could try to post it somewhere. Sure. Oh,
That way, you know, like host it on the Noisebridge website or something.
who's saying that, by the way? I can't tell.
Also, can you just port it to a Discord bot, or would you like someone to?
Yeah, sure.
That would be
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, sure. That can be done. I thought it's just. I almost thought about not even presenting it because it's so basic, but yeah, sure.
Let's
I was
make a
thinking about trying
Discord
to
bot.
add ways to like make it like list. If it gets too long, it kind of gets a little bit awkward to look at, to be honest. So I was thinking about improving it. But sure, yeah, I could. Yeah, I could try to share. I could share it to some people. Sure. Yeah.
I have a question. Is
Yeah, what's
there
up?
a way to be anonymous when entering the space via this script? Like,
Yeah. I mean, this is just all running locally, so you could use a pseudonym. You know.
yeah, so it's locally hosted. It isn't sending this information
Yeah, I'm just using a weird looking terminal. That's all I'm using. It's called Cool Retro Terminal. I really think it's kind of fun to play with. But yeah, it's not doing anything like particularly crazy or awesome here. It's just a rather basic script. You type in someone's name or you type in a name, and if it's on the list, it's added. If it's not on the if it's not on the list, it's added. If it is on the list, it's removed. And then I decide to get to OS system clear, which is if it's on a Linux system, it just makes the clear command in bash. So that's kind of that's how it works. It's a very simple, and then it just like repeats over and over again. So yeah, that's kind of the idea behind it.
I would like to see this made a little more practical. It
was practical for the purposes that I built it, but yes.
Yeah, but by implementing some kind of mechanism that authenticates who is adding and removing, so that only people can somehow add only themselves. I don't know how possible this is, but
you're talking about something that is totally different than what I have at this point, because this is very basic. But yes,
I'm spitballing ideas for future development for you.
Sure. Like person tracker. I don't know. It's the only reason we made this mostly is just so I could make sure we don't have more than 20 people in the room at a given time, sort of to meet our COVID concern protocols. Mm-hmm. That's more or less it. So
my point is, nothing right now is stopping anyone from going in and adding a bunch of people that aren't there, right?
This thing is on my local machine. It's literally on my machine. That's it. So, yeah.
Relay. Can you relay to the live studio audience?
I think you get what I'm saying. Anyway.
Which one?
Well, we're only hearing your side of the conversation.
Oh, I didn't hear that part. Sorry.
This is vast backwards from the usual. Usually you tell the presenter, can you repeat the question for...
All right. Hey, let's... I'm sorry about that. Want me to... I'll turn off the sound and let's try to do it the other way.
Well, also, I thank you for your 5 minutes, and your 5 minutes of thing has now elapsed. But Relay could be available for more questions in the chat.
Yes.
While we queue up our next presenter. Do we have any remote volunteers? I see an Evil Dan waving. Evil Dan? Oh, well, let me try to turn my mic on.
Sorry, let me turn my mic off.
Yeah.
Relay.
But Dan, go ahead.
Okay. It's a question for Relay. Like, you like programming? How often do you write a script like this? How often do you have a reason to make something you actually want to use?
Can you turn your screen share off and switch to your webcam?
Sure. I can do that.
Like, couple times a year, couple times a week?
I'm embarrassed to answer that question. I'd rather not answer.
That's fair enough. I got another one. Have you considered integrating blockchain? And I'm trolling, but that's a good question, right? Why though no blockchain?
Why would I need it? What would a blockchain do in this instance? This is not what a blockchain needs. This is for a replacement.
Why don't we just use the 5G chip that's injected?
I built this thing as a replacement for a chalkboard. What are you asking for a blockchain for?
I think.
Okay, good answer. Thank you.
Now enabled.
What?
No more questions.
How many layers did you use for this?
I like where your head's at, Dan.
Aeroscoping, if that's what you're asking.
Does it blend?
With a good enough blender, yes.
What happens if two people are named the same thing?
What? It's all running on a local session.
No, but let's say I log in and I'm Dave, and then another person who's also named Dave logs in.
You're not really logging in. It's just someone marking.
Right.
It's just someone marking it down.
Well, yes. Would you say it's in the log?
Yeah. I mean, if two people are named Dave, I could just Dave 1 and
No,
Dave 2.
I'm Dirty Dan.
I think it's cool. It
No,
takes
it's-
a lot of people wouldn't even make anything.
I just made a replacement for a chalkboard. That's what I did. This is not a. That's all this is. I just thought, hey, I'm doing this thing on a chalkboard. Why can't I just do it on a terminal program? So I did it. That's it. It's not like I'm not expecting this thing to be like online for any reason. It just I just do it works.
How dare you present this to a bunch of Noisebridgers and expect us not to want to take the idea and expand it ad infinitum? How dare you?
Yeah, that's fine. That's okay. It's funny.
Emoji Unicode, your characters are not rendering correctly here. Do you care to insert a nim of notation?
Oh no, is that me?
That would be you.
It works for me. I see the emoji.
What emoji do you see?
It was a like space robot thingy, or from a retro game, I think.
Question from the live studio audience: who is it? And pyconaut, I see you have your hand raised. Does that mean you're ready to speak next?
Oh, that was the question for relay. I forgot to put it down, but I can go next if people want.
What do you got for us? Yeah, your 5 minutes begins.
Wait just a sec. I need to start recording and all that. I'm just going to be recording my side.
All right, pyconaut prepares to record themselves for approximately 300 seconds, otherwise known as 5 minutes of fame.
Yep. Okay, sharing my screen.
Insert copyright infringement blocking material now.
Yep. Okay. Hello. Today, I'm going to be talking about why the world sucks at designing spaces for use. Design versus flow. So, first, what are spaces for use? Spaces for use are spaces that you use for some purpose, and usually with other people. These are things like schools, labs, machine shops, stores, gyms, hospitals, community spaces, etc. There are a lot different spaces in the world that people like to use, and a lot of them suck at their own use. And this is because a lot of these places are capitalist designed. They're trying to make money, and they do efficiency via density instead of efficiency via flow. So efficiency is really important and is a great way to allow you to make more money if you can fit more things or more people in the same area that are all making money or buying stuff. But in a lot of situations, um this can actually, in spaces that are productivity focused, this can actually hurt a heck of a lot more than it can help. A example I like to use is a wood shop with 2 table saws versus 1 table saw. A lot of people think that would be more efficient. And it can be, but if you're limited in space and you're trying to increase productivity by making your setup denser, it can actually hurt by making it hard to maneuver things like plywood. Or it's even worse when it affects safety. A lot of of density focused spaces are incredibly unsafe. This is because density can prevent safety while flow can reinforce it. What I mean by this is that when you have things working right next to each other, those things can end up interacting with each other. So if you have 2 people working in close proximity on different devices, they can bump into each other, or they could accidentally interfere with the machine next to them. Flow allows for a lot of safety by keeping things spaced out correctly and making it easy to use. So, there are a number of ways to design for flow. Separate rooms that have conflicting modalities. Keep something like sanding separate from painting, separate from like machine tools. Those tools get dangerous when they are near each other. It's like you don't want to use a welder right next to a table saw that is spewing out tons of fine particulate sawdust. But a lot of shops seem to be fine with doing things like that. Um, Keeping things within reach is valuable as well, and movement is not an issue. When space is limited, keep things mobile, build storage and other items, and use vertical space. Yeah. If you want ideas, go on YouTube. Thank you for listening.
And the crowd goes wild.
I feel
Yeah.
my presentation. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
All right. Any questions for the pyconauts? And hello, Marc, out there in the virtual. Welcome to be televirtual studio audience as well.
Questions in the comments?
Let's see the comments section. That's always lovely to read.
Hi from Marc in the comments. Hi back, Marc.
Hey.
Pyconaut, do you have any sources or research to cite and share related to such topics of depthuous nature?
A lot of it is just go on YouTube and look at shop tours. But also, if you talk to me in person, I can explain why this matters and my personal experience. Like, most of this is from more than a decade and a half of experience in different shops and spaces, a lot of which are designed pretty poorly.
Do you want to talk to the camera?
Every once in a while, I'll visit a space designed properly, and the difference in everything about it is immense, including things such as community, happiness, productivity, creativity, personal health. a properly designed space has a lot of knock-on effects. I saw a hand raised from Evil Dan.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear your definition of flow and some more thoughts on how we can get good flow. I mean, I'm just thinking of what flow means to me, but what does it mean to you, and how do we get it? It sounds like a good thing.
Yeah. So a lot of flow is you have to think about the projects you want to do, the steps involved, and how you can make those steps flow easily from one to the next. The easiest way I see flow is in a wood shop, where you have the wood flow around the shop in a known fashion, pretty much whatever project you are doing. You start on the jointer, move to the planer, move to a miter saw, move to a table saw, move to a sander, move to painting. And you can literally, if you have the space, you literally design those all in a single line. And there's a really nice flow. Very few spaces are large enough to design something in a straight line.
Thank you, pyconaut, and we'll look forward to 5 minutes and more coming soon to a hackerspace near all of us and all of you. And in the meantime, we have a TJ here who would like to present a singing potted plant of, well, you can speak or you can speak. Would you like hands free or a mic? I'm 5 minutes here to TJ and some electronics.
Lights. Never can go wrong. Yeah, so I can kind of put it. Oh boy.
Wait, can you put it on the table? And then
Yeah.
to look at the
Do you
table
want me
while
to
you-
hold something?
Yeah, let's put it on this table. Okay. And
Okay, that's visible.
well, I also got to power it.
Yeah,
My
so.
special power source.
Alright, here. I
USB.
have an idea. Oh, wait. Can we take this down? And then
No, I mean,
the table down better?
as long as it.
Ooh, pretty nice. Woo!
Let's see.
Did you need audio?
Yeah, we need audio. It works with audio.
Yes.
Uh,
Shit. Work in progress.
it's
It's always a work in progress.
I should have brought my cat. I should have brought my microphone here.
You want a couple
That's
more
hot.
feet?
Thank you. Here is.
Should have a couple more feet now.
Is this timed up? It looks like it's out of time.
you're seeing what's being recorded.
Oh.
It's on a 7-second delay.
And everybody else is here on time.
Yeah. All right. Is it doing it?
Let me make it a little bit. Let me make it a little less.
All right. People have questions, comments. Throw them in the chat, and we'll hit them at the
But
end
yeah,
of this.
basically the idea is to. I wanted to do some mood lighting, as say, and because I spent a lot of time in my room the past year due to certain reasons, and I was like, why not spice it up and have a plant that also syncs to whatever you're playing. So maybe turn up the volume.
Can you do it on your laptop? Yeah, start on your laptop.
Yeah, so hold on. There we go. So you see it, the lights here. It's synced up to So you see that the lights here are synced up to the music. But, just to show you that I was not doing this as a tribute, so here's a slower song, and now we try and pick it up a little bit. There we go.
Oh, let's go.
And now it's actually sped up.
Let's go.
And if we go back to slow again.
So you hear an expressive dance of what's going on here?
Basically, the breakdown of this is there's some LED lights, the programmable ones, and those are connected to an Arduino Nano. Currently, it's communicating through serial to my laptop, which has a Spotify library, a Rust Spotify library. So I took some time to learn a bit of Rust, and that basically takes this whatever track's playing and figures out the beats and publishes them. So it figures out what the tempo. It basically publishes to the Arduino what the tempo is, and then the Arduino reads the tempo, and then internally creates a timer, so that around that time, so it actually the LEDs actually sync with the time. But yeah, that's sort of my presentation.
Oh, well.
Anybody got any questions?
It only it's still totally closed. There's just like a whole solenoid
Blockchain?
The rhetorical blockchain returns.
Blockchain. Oh yeah, that's good. That's I was wondering that looks like the colors are just on a cycle and the beat How does it get published? You using like MQTT or something?
I'm just bit banging to the serial, basically. I have like a little frame for that confirms that the string is sent through properly. But I just have 2 bytes. I basically have header and footer, and then 4 bytes. The 2 bytes for the message from the last beat, and then a couple bytes for the message to the next beat.
Interesting. Well, low level is best level.
That only tells you the BPM, but then it tells you how far into the beat, how far offset from the beat you are. So then it's like a little bit more sync and just like giving it the tempo and letting it roll.
Oh wow. Okay, cool. Thank you.
So some improvements are it sends 8 bytes through the serial, and that takes a little bit of time. So if you see it, it will occasionally freeze for a little bit. And so the better plan would probably be to send it a byte at a time and figure out basically queue it up so it's a little more asynchronous.
Dave, do you want to do 5 minutes of access?
Sure.
Or any other assorted topicry?
Yeah, I can talk. Where's the microphone?
There's a camera, and it is the microphone.
Hello, computer. All right, hey everybody. If you don't know me, my name's Dave. My COVID project, or one of my COVID projects, was to try to work on access control system replacement for Noisebridge. And so I come from a low-level programming space, and I kind of wanted to maybe try to make some reliability and usability improvements over the existing system. And I kind of want to talk about those briefly. Well, before I go into that, just briefly want to say we pretty much delivered on basically feature parity for replacing Earl, so excited about that. But okay, so what's different about it? The old system was kind of, first off, I don't really know much about the old system, but it's more of a, traditional Raspberry system running on, there's big Go processes doing a lot of stuff here. And my approach is basically to do the exact opposite. Do it from more of an embedded, simple hardware standpoint. And so the code does 0 dynamic allocations. And if you don't know what that means, it basically doesn't go out to the operating system to get memory in runtime. And if you think about it, that's a lot of modern software does that. And every time you do that, that's a potential fail point. And that's not something you want in something you want to be reliable. So it's all static memory. So it never does any allocations. Also, it's instead of using a full-fledged Linux, GNU Linux-based operating system, I've used Buildroot to build a specific distribution that just has what we need. And it's got just to give you an idea, the whole thing fits on an SD card, and it's 15 megabytes. That's the whole operating system, everything. And we could even pare that down further. All right, how much time do I have left?
Please, just go on.
Okay. Having control over the operating system in that level, doing it, not just taking a home, Raspberry or something, allows me to do a lot of user experience customizations. So if you're familiar with Linux operating system, all of the files that you need to work with, you have the basic Linux file hierarchy that's maybe not unintuitive. It's maybe if you're working in the space a lot, it's very you're comfortable with it, but it's not very intuitive to the normal user. They don't go oh, okay, I want to change my Wi-Fi config. That's an etc / WPA supplicant / WPA-supplicant.conf, or I want to change my IP address. Well, okay, that's an etc network. So I got rid of all of that, And so basically there are no directories. Like every single thing that needs to run on the system is on the root of the SD card. And it's only like 12 files total. Like you've got one file, there's like, if you're familiar with the DOS days, there's like an autoexec.bat. Well, I've got an autoexec.sh that basically just runs commands when it starts. That's the whole init system. And so like my whole process is to try to do some things as very simple and streamlined as possible. And so if you want to change your IP address, well, you just go to the autoexec.sh and find the IP adder line and change the IP address.
Wait, why does this thing even need an IP address?
Yeah. Okay, so a couple changes. So let's go over the
28 more seconds for questions.
48 more seconds. Oh, that counts as a question. Okay. It gets its admin list from a URL online. And that's basically its only communication. So it needs three things. One, time synchronization, so it talks to an NTP server. It needs to grab a URL for grabbing its admin, a list of admins, basically. And then it's got another, it sends out emails so that if you do an admin request, you can get the hash. I can explain more maybe in next month. But anyway, that's it.
All right, and the crowd goes wild.
Oh, source code's online. I've got more videos if you're interested. I've got some YouTube videos and of demonstrations and all that kind of stuff.
All right, more excellence parlance. So the triangular emojicon, formerly known as Noob, may have had a talk. Oh, that's Carl. Okay, did the Noob turn into Marc? Is that
yeah?
Archive Gamebridge archive?
That was me. Yeah.
Are you here to grace us with the last 5 minutes of June 2021, third Thursday 5 Moth?
If I dare, sure.
Do you dare? The opportunity is not.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, don't want to take the spot if there's someone else who has more pressing things to talk about. But I would like to talk.
The spot is yours. Talk away. You have the next 5 minutes.
All right. Hello. Hey, everyone. Those of you who don't know me, I'm Marc. I do game stuff. You may or may not know that I have a group called the Bad Collective that I organize. And I wanted to tell you all a little bit about that. I'm just doing a shameless self plug here, basically, tonight. It's horrible. I know. I'm sorry. But we stand... BAD is an acronym for Bay Area Developers Collective. And we're game developers. We're indie game developers. And we are trying to grow the group and get people involved, especially people who are interested in local sort of grassroots community organization stuff, because we're trying to do a game development thing that is like that, which is honestly a little unprecedented. The typical game dev group and promo thing tends to be very non-locality specific and more focused on just reaching out to as broad of a worldwide audience as possible. But we are aiming to do things a little different and build it from the grassroots, the ground up, you know, old school community organizing styles. So we would love it if you wanted to join us and see what we've been working on. We've been organizing and holding meetings on Discord over the course of the pandemic, and I'll post a link to that Discord server here if that's cool in the chat. And we do a number of cool events that game devs and non-game devs alike can enjoy. So we would love to have you there and hanging out with us and doing stuff with us. Here's the link in the chat. We have been running a long-term game jam, and there are 4 games that have come out of that that we are showing on Steam Next Fest right now. But things that any non-game devs could enjoy are, we do a thing called the Fantasy Meta League, which is a sort of, I don't know if you want to call it an ARG of sorts. It's kind of just a social game where we try to predict how well games are going to do on Steam each week. We put in bids with fake money in order to guess how well we think a game is going to do, and we do this on a week-to-week basis, and we pick a selection of games. It's pretty fun. It's kind of, it's a fantasy football league, but for video game sales. We also do a thing called the Video Game Book Club, which is each month one person picks a game, and that person gets chosen ahead of time from the group. One person picks a game, and we all play that game, and then we sort of talk about it at the end of the month after we've played it a bit. And it's a nice way to sort of explore different games and game types, especially ones that we might not necessarily go out of our way to play or be used to. And it's been really cool and enlightening, and of course, general creativity stuff abound in the server. If you do art or music or programming or anything related to games, you're more than welcome to post that kind of stuff there too. And we hope to have real events IRL soon again. That would be so nice. We got to do exactly one of them before the pandemic happened. But yeah, we want to get out there and start in-person organizing again. I'll leave it at that. If anyone has any questions for me about it, I'm here and ready to take them. Otherwise, I hope to see you there.
All right, then the crowd goes wild once again. Awesome. Well, that was well-timed and excellently presented to round out our lovely June edition 2021 Five Moth. So I will call that a rounding success of excellence, and concludes our official Five Moth hour. But we'll kick it back to hangout and conversation and tunes as folks like. And I will note that there are 3 hackers present at Noisebridge, which is currently locked and closed. And thank you one and all for participating. I now return the Hackatorium to its normal unintended uses.
I love we're still using Hackatorium.
Well, in theory, we're in the garage.
Let's see.
Okay,
all right, thanks for another fascinating Five Moth, and it's good to see everybody. I appreciate the masks. I think that's an enduring fashion statement. It's good stuff. It makes me feel like all warm and fuzzy to see it. So thanks for thanks for making another Noisebridge Fun Fest that much more excellent. See you all on the other side. I'll leave you to your regularly scheduled programming.
Regularly scheduled programming.
And Relay, that's good stuff. You should write scripts more often if you don't already, because that's when you really pay attention. And
I found another version. It just made it worse.
Excellent. That's so much fun when you have something you want to do and it really matters to you, and you can feel how the code works or doesn't, and then
I found the ways it doesn't work. Not so much the ways it works. All the ways it's supposed to work, but it doesn't work.
Hey,
but
you never fail,
hey, it works for you.
But
right. Well, good stuff. Thanks for sharing it.
All right.
We'll catch y'all later. Have a excellent evening.
All right. Have a good evening. Excellent evening, everyone.
All right.
You as
Very
well.
Good to see you, Mark. See you later.
See you, Mark.
Hey, yeah. Very cool. Was that TJ that said that? Hey,
Yeah.
TJ. Cool light show. I like it.
Great. I love it. Okay.
Yay, I finally got OBS virtual camera working.
I want one.
Yay.
Start mass producing them, TJ.
Wait,
What?
wait,
Wait,
OBS
what?
virtual camera? Oh, you got it to work for your green screen. Awesome.
Yeah.
Start mass
Finally.
producing those boxes so that we can all have one.
Yeah. Great presentation, TJ. I want all Noisebridge plants, if we can keep them alive, to have a light system on them.
Yeah. The only thing I was thinking of is like, you know, there are people who are sensitive to flashing lights. I guess that's the one thing. Like with the flashing, I never really. That's the one thing I hadn't thought about before. But like, there are people who are sensitive to flashing lights, and like, I don't really know the parameters or like what specifically triggers that. But I'm wondering if
It's usually
having
a
that.
frequency of like, I've heard it's like
some people can't play video games because if they do, they will trigger an epilepsy.
It's usually if it's like alternate colors between like one versus the other. Like,
It's just mood. You don't look directly at the LEDs. It's just like light.
Yeah, it's like a strobe. Don't do strobe light effects, I guess.
Yeah. It's related to contrast frequency above a certain amount. Because it's actually one of the using contrast frequency at very low level is very easy to detect in our brains because it does trigger our brains very actively. That's how ssvd works, where you like can move objects like a mouse cursor using your mind. That's usually done through ssvd, which is called steady state visual evoked potential. But yeah, if the contrast flashes are too bright or are too fast or are between two very, very contrasty colors, then it triggers enough of the brain that it can really screw people up and then cause other issues.
Okay.
But there's pretty much you can just set parameters in your flashing light so that it never does specific things like jump between certain colors too quickly. Or if it wants to jump between those two colors, they can't be above a certain brightness. Yeah. But if you think about it, police sirens and fire sirens and stuff, those can cause seizures. It's like, oh no, police,
They do lots of. Well, that's the least evil. That's one of the.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other evil things they do.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, it would be cool to have it as. Yeah, it would be cool to set up more of it because like scaling with these lights is with LED libraries, it's like super easy to scale up.
Yeah.
Scale up to like a room to like because it's literally just like a constructor parameter for the LED, so you can literally do 200 for the same.
Well, I mean, I guess just don't do it with very fast music.
Yeah.
Yeah, that and like Ryan made a good point of like don't do constructive or don't do like highly contrasting colors, and there probably could be a way to blend it additionally. So it transitions between I did like a strobe effect, but it could like blend between colors too.
Yep. Yeah, that's really cool. Now that I think about it, I I need to make some GAN's AI music art that works on Flaschentasche. That would be fun.
A GAN? Like what? Yeah, it would be cool to create a visualizer for.
Or, yeah, pretty much an AI visualizer to a degree, but let me find the video I made.
Yeah, not a problem.
Is that the bread?
And just saying, I'm going. I'm out of here.
Yeah, it sounds like we're gonna feast.
Yeah. Oh, just so you know, Soundfreak, they don't know the combination. So, but Dave didn't know the combination, so